Hello, welcome along to my weekly weigh-in and my monthly measure up, and I ramble about mental health and all of that nonsense. I'm Poppy Mac, and this is my channel where I'm trying to rediscover myself after 20 plus years of being a carer, being a mum, looking after my own mum now that she's got dementia, and just trying to work out what works for me as I get older. So welcome aboard, and I'm delighted to have you along for the ride. I'm going to dive straight in with my weigh-in, which I was delighted. I can't tell you. I got on the scales and I got off and I got on and I got off, and I kept doing that about 3 or 4 times because I couldn't believe it. Drum roll. I lost 2.5 pounds. 2.5. So I'm now 142 pounds. So 22 to go, 108 down, and I'm really pleased because we've had fun this week. We've been to the beach, we had lunch at the beach, and you know that's never good, is it? And we went for a spontaneous picnic, and yeah, I met a friend for lattes and gossiping, and yes, and still 2.5 pounds down. So that made up for the, you know, kind of jogging along, £0.5 nothing, £0.5 nothing. Every now and again there's what I would call a decent loss, and I'm really pleased. So hey ho, that was making my day that day. So I'm going to jump into my measurements, and I will drop them in up here so you can see what I'm talking about. And I'm hideously embarrassed by the starting measurements, but they are what they are, and I'm going to confess all. So I measure my bust, the biggest point between my bust and waist, the biggest point between my waist and hips, my hips. I don't know if I said my waist, but yes, obviously my waist, the top of my thigh, just above the knee, and the biggest part of my calf and my upper arm. So that's what I've been recording from the beginning, and I'll give you the starting measurements, and I'll give you the current measurements and the difference. So I will be looking down, but bear with me. So first off, bust, and I'm really shocked by these starting measurements, and but I'm bust 51.5 at the beginning, and now 39.5. So that's a loss of 12 inches. There's still a way to go, but progress is being made. So the midpoint between my bust and waist, 48.5 inches at the beginning, down now to 34.5, a loss of 14 inches, still a way to go. My waist was 48.5 and is now 33.5, so that's 15 inches down. The biggest part between waist and hips was, shockingly, 56.5 inches and is now 40, so still a lot to go, but that is a loss of 16.5 inches, so getting there. Hips were 49.5 and are now 38, a loss of 11.5 inches. The top of my thigh on the left was 27.5 and is now 20. On the right it was a loss of 8, 28 down to 20. So yes, a loss of 8. Just above the knee on the left, 21.5 down to 15.5. On the right, 21 down to 15.5, so that's a loss of 6 and 5.5. The calf, I go around the biggest part of my calf, 16.5 on the left down to 14, and 17 on the right down to 14, so a loss of 2.5 and 3 inches. And my upper arm, both left and right, were 14.25 and are now 11. So they're all coming down, and some of them come down quite a lot, but yes, still progress to be made, and I am still working on reducing those. Clothing sizes I find vary quite dramatically between brands and between vintages. So the older things need a bigger size, because sizing seems to have got bigger over the years, which I'm quite pleased about. I think that's a positive. But when I was younger, the smallest sizes when I was in my teens that you ever saw in the shops were probably a 10, very occasionally an 8. And now you can see 6s and 4s, and I find that really alarming. I think those are children's sizes. So, yeah, clothing size. At the start of this, I was in a sort of 20, 22, 22, 24, depending on where I was shopping. Now I'm wearing size 12 jeans and size 14 tops, but again, that can vary. If I get something that's vintage or vintage, then I might need to buy a 16 depending on the style and the brand. So yeah, it's all heading in the right direction, and I'm not finished, not by a long chalk. So I'm going to carry on with that. So that's my measurements, and yeah, bit of a. I've been thinking this week that when I was younger, I always had my nose in a book. As far back as I can remember, I read constantly. I mean, my dad used to laugh at me because I've been walking around the house with my nose in a book. I'd be making a coffee, or, you know, everything I was doing, I had a book in one hand. And I haven't been able to concentrate to read a book since lockdown and head injuries during that period and PTSD. And I manage my PTSD largely by making sure that I've got constant noise. So I listen to audiobooks constantly, and I buy a whole series of books and I listen to them start to finish. And I listen to a lot of podcasts and or the radio or something, so that there is always chatter that stops my mind throwing up flashbacks and putting me back into what feels like a dangerous situation. So that's how I've been managing my PTSD. But I really miss sitting down with an actual physical book. So I was out with Ryan on Friday and his staff, and he wanted to look at the books in the shop. We were in Tesco and he wanted to go and look at the books, and I thought, I can buy myself a couple of books, and when my mum's at her art group, I'm going to take myself out for a latte, and I'm going to take my book and I'm going to sit, because there'll be background noise. And if that doesn't work, then I will find myself some music, just music, not talking, something quiet and not too catchy, that I can have quiet noise in the background of my mind to keep my mind still. And then I'm trying to see if that works to let me read. So I bought myself The Killer Question and The Correspondent. And when I drop my mum at her art on Thursdays, I'm going to take myself out for a coffee and sit with my book and hopefully be able to concentrate and read. I really, really hope so, because I've missed it so much. So keep your fingers crossed for me that I managed to find a way to make that work, because I have tried to just sit and read without any background noise, and I can't. My mind wanders into dark territory, and that's no good for me. So yeah, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to find something quiet to put on that doesn't involve actually concentrating, and just see if that works. So anyway, what have we been up to? We went for our beach trip. It was glorious. It was so lovely. We met at the cafe, we had lunch, and everyone sat around for a while chatting and catching up, and some of the service users hadn't seen each other for a while, and the staff got to all catch up with each other. So that was really, really nice. And then we took a potter along the beach, and we sat on the beach for a little while, and we had drinks, and everything was lovely. So, and then everyone was a bit shattered. I was the queen of the sunblock. I kept plastering myself and my boys and my mum in sunblock, because I'm a bit pale and pasty, and I do tend to burn to a crisp if I'm not careful. So yeah, that was lovely. And then everyone headed for home, completely shattered, but happy shattered. So that was really lovely day out. And then we went for an impromptu picnic. I got a call from Ryan saying he wanted to go for a picnic at a local park. And I said, okay, we can do that. When do you want to do it? I want to do it today, Mum. Okay. So dive to Tesco, buy picnic stuff, and then met up down at the park. And it's really lovely, Riverside Park. So again, we nabbed a picnic table, and I've got picnic tablecloths and bits and pieces, and then we just spread all the stuff out, and everybody dived in, staff, everybody. It was lovely. And then he said he wanted to go for a walk along the riverfront and around the park, and he went with the staff, and I stayed with Grandma because it was a bit much for her. And he came back and he managed to cut his foot. He'd stepped on a sharp piece of twig, and it had managed to cut his foot, and it was a bit dramatic. He said, Mum, I can't see you. I can't see you. I have to go to the urgent care unit. And there was a tiny, tiny little cut and just needed a little dressing on it. But yeah, he's like, do I need stitches? No, darling, you don't need stitches. You'll be fine, I promise. So anyway, when I spoke to him the next day, I said, how's your foot? And he was sort of barely remembered. And he's like, oh, yes, it's fine now. Thank you. That's good. So yeah, but other than the drama of the nasty little cuts, it was a lovely afternoon, lovely picnic, and it was really spur of the moment. So that was extra special. So we had our usual visit on Sunday. So yeah, they've kept us busy over the weekend. And then we had the Memory Cafe Dementia Group doing. It was craft week, so we did little collage. Everybody did a little collage, and that was really nice. So yeah, sticking bits and pieces on, bits of shell and bits of tissue paper and all sorts of things. So yeah, that was really, really nice, and it's always a nice group. So yeah, and I met a friend that I hadn't seen for about a year, and she kind of did a double take when she saw me. She's like, my goodness, you've lost so much weight. And yeah, since she saw me, I guess I have. I'm always a bit surprised because all of a sudden other people are noticing, people that I've seen quite often, and they're suddenly saying to me, goodness me, you've lost a lot of weight. And I'm like, but I've been losing it for nearly 2 years. And suddenly it seems to notice. But I forgive her for that because, as I say, I haven't seen her for about a year. And she used to be one of my boys' TAs when they were in primary school, and we've stayed in touch because she's just fabulous. And yeah, she's had a tough time, and it was really, really nice to be able to catch up and see her and see that she's okay and she's doing all right. So yeah, we had a couple of lattes and a long chat, and yeah, really, really good. So that was this week. Next week we have another Memory Cafe. This one's just a catch up, quizzes, bingo and all that nonsense. Not crafting this time, so that's nice. That's always good for Mum. She really enjoys that. And she's got her last art group until September this week. The lady that runs it takes August off. So half of me is like, yay, I've got my Thursdays back because it's not going to be chopped into 2-hour chunks. But also, I've lost those 2 hours to sit and just be. However, I'm making plans for things that we can do on Thursdays. We can go and spend a couple of hours at my house sorting things out, and then maybe go out for lunch and do something nice in the afternoon. Sort my old car out because I still haven't done it. I know, I'm so naughty. And yeah, so we'll find things to do and have fun. And yeah, this week I'm going to visit my bestie. We haven't seen each other for a little while because various things have cropped up that have kept both of us occupied, but we're going to get together. We were going to meet up and go out somewhere, but she's wimped out. She said she's in too much pain, she can't possibly. So she's suffering a bit at the moment, so I said I'd go to her. I'm a little bit nervous because she's got a big barky dog. It's very growly and very barky, and I so want to love the dog, but it's big and barky, loud, and it sort of traps me in the hall and growls at me until it's decided it's all right for me to go in. So I'm a little bit nervous. As I say, I really, really, really want to love the dog. So yes, pray for me. I said, if the dog kills me and eats me, it's all her fault. So I'll report back if the dog eats me and, you know, spits me out. I will let you know. So other than that, I don't think we've got a huge amount going on. Oh yes, we have. We're going to Leeds Castle. Shay wants to do another picnic. Ryan wants to go to Leeds Castle. So that's my boys' plans for me this week. So Shay always loves a picnic, and Ryan likes to go a little bit further afield if we can. So we're going to meet up, and I'm going for a blood test, so that's not so much fun. I had a blood test, I had an X-ray, and I had a report back saying there was nothing on the blood test. That was all fine. And then I phoned up to see what was going on with the X-ray. No, nothing on the X-ray. Everything was fine. So I'm like, well, I've still got lots of pain in all my joints. I mean, some weeks I can do really heavy lifting and work out quite a lot. And another week, like this week, I have to use 2 hands to put the car in reverse, and I can't lift the kettle without using 2 hands. So I said, oh, can I have a call back anyway? So she put me in, and when the doctor phoned, he said, your blood test was inconclusive because they put it in the wrong bottle, and your X-ray showed arthritis. So I think we're dealing with arthritis in all your joints. So I'm going to refer you for physio, and we'll see what we can, what else we can find out while we're investigating. So yeah, that explains a lot of the pain, because this week it's been, quite grim. And so hopefully we'll get to the bottom of that and get some good exercises to do that can keep it all loosened up, because I don't want to be just bitching about my joints. And I want to keep exercising, but at the moment I have to be really careful what I do. I'm just sticking to things like walking if the hip will allow it, and which is really annoying because I'm not decrepit yet, I hope. So that's so I'll go for my blood test, and then I'm going for a catch up with my bestie and her bulky dog, and then I'm gonna hopefully get some answers and get some physio. So that's basically the week ahead. So yeah, that's us for the week, and I'm quite looking forward to our trip to Leeds Castle and our picnic again, because it's always nice to do something a little bit different with them. So anyway, that's me for the week, and I hope you're having a lovely time, and take good care. I will speak to you very soon. Bye bye.